Right, hi lads and lasses, and welcome to Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave, and welcome to 2019.
On time, electro is a new style. The flow, see them grooving to the bassline funkin' on time. Electro is a new style.
Right, hi lads and lasses, and the first video for 2019 is going to be quite an obvious one. What we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a recap. What it's going to be is a bit of all things to all men. Obviously we've got a load of new subscribers, a load of new people on Facebook over Christmas and the New Year. Loads of lads and lasses out there have got dartboards and the equipment to start playing darts over Christmas. So what we're going to do is go right back and start it all from the beginning. Just have a quick walk through of how to set your board up, all that sort of stuff. I'm sure that they'll already have the board set up, but we'll just go through all of the different things about setting your board up, getting it all right, the importance of getting your basics right and your fundamentals right in the first place, because that means that when you actually go on to play darts, you're going to actually get quite good at it in quite a short period of time, rather than spending, as a lot of us, especially the old boys will know, you spend years and years and years in the wilderness, just standing in your basement, in your garage, in your back bedroom, in the kitchen, wherever you are, just hammering darts into the board and never seem to be getting any better. And it's only exactly the same as Fred, who goes and plays golf once a week on a Wednesday afternoon. He just goes over to the golf course there. It's a bit of stress relief, and all he's doing is just thrashing at the ball, plays off a 20-25 handicap, and probably will never see any less than 17 or 18 handicap, even if he tries his hardest, unless of course he goes and gets some professional advice. Well, this is the channel to get your professional advice, watching the videos for absolutely free. So we've started other services which can be purchased, and all you have to do is contact me at dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. That's dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com. And what I'll do there is I'll send you a generic email which will outline all the different services that I provide and what the charges for those are. There's a lot of new stuff coming along, and is coming along in 2019. I've started personal one-to-one face-to-face coaching on a more serious basis now. If you contact me, I'll give you the costings of it, etc., and how it works. Quite simple, and it's very affordable for the working class man. Anyway, if that's something that interests you, just contact me at dj.llewellyn123@outlook.com, and you'll find I'll send you all the information via email. Right, so like I say, what we'll do is we'll go over into section 1 now, and we'll start off with how to set the board up. But this is what I do. I go into the centre compartment of my case. We have a very simple piece of household string, right? Simple as this. In one end of the string, you tie a slip knot in it, get the slip knot to the right size, and then put a dab of super glue on it so as it doesn't slide up and down anymore, so it's locked solid. That's the way I do it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show it you. Get over, there we go. Now, as you can see, there's a loop in there, and what you do is slide your dart. So you put a loop in one end, put your dart through it. Number 1 is 5 feet 8 inches exactly. Is you have a little mark on it like that. I've done it with a brown Sharpie, as you can see. And then right down at the end of the piece of string, but a couple of inches from the end so you can get hold of it, so you can actually get it onto the floor, is another brown mark, and that is at 115.5 inches. So you've got your 5'8" going down. I don't bother with a 7'9 1/4 for the simple reason is this is more accurate, and you'll understand why in a minute. Right, so what you do with this is put your point through the piece of string in your little slip knot. Put it right in the middle of the bullseye, right in the centre at bullseye, and all you do is, if you're testing the height of the board, you fetch it down to the floor, and your brown mark should be just where you touch the floor, where you put a little bit of tension on the string, so it's nice and straight, so you know for a fact that that's right. All you do then is you come to your other mark on your string, your other brown mark there, pull it down and put it like that, so you've got a nice bit of tension on it, but obviously it's not stretched to high heaven, because otherwise you'll pull your dart out. And that is where your 7 foot 9 1/4 is, or 115.5 inches. And now, right, so here we are up in the studio, and what I'm going to do is I'm now going to show you how to stand and address the board and how to throw your first arrows. Right, so as I said, talk to the hockey, turn your foot in. Take a dart in your hand, and you want to have a nice comfortable grip. Now, grip is subjective. I have what they call 3 points of contact, and what I'll do is I'll overlay some photographs at this point to show you what the 3 points of contact are, the way you should hold your, well, not the way that you should hold your darts, the way that I'm saying is a good way to hold your darts. Right, if I put a dart in my hand, this is how I hold it, right, like this. This is how I throw. I use a really nice straight thumb. So as you can see, that's a nice straight thumb with a very slight angle on it going forward, which is natural, the natural angle of my thumb, going up and gripping the front to centre of the barrel. I've got, if I take this away, see if I can show you, that is the exploded view. So this finger is on top of the dart. That stops any horizontal movement going this way, moving it from the horizontal. Again, taking it apart again, you can see there, that is my front finger, and that's how my front finger sits on it. Very strange thing that I do here, if I turn my finger over there, you'll see exactly that dart there sits underneath my nail, and I cut my nail to suit that. So my nail actually sits in there, so I use that to sit the dart into. And again, it's just another thing that makes that point, when it's there, something to rest against, so as it's nice and solid and straight. So basically, take my dart, and that's how I throw it. I normally bring them 2 fingers up here. As I fetch it up, sometimes I'll do this, but as I actually set myself to throw the arrow, my fingers come up to this position. Right, so now you've got your grip sorted, what we do, stand, address the board, as I said before, nice and simple. So it's feet shoulder width apart, side onto the board, arm up in front of you, draw the hand back, and you can tick-tock it a couple of times first just to get that nice feeling, so you'll get the feel for the weight of your darts. Then all it's a matter of doing is just, like I say, when you first do it, doesn't matter where those darts go, just try and keep them in a line down the centre of the board and between the treble 20 and the treble 3. So nice and grouped if you can. That's probably one of the first sections of when you actually start practicing, is you're looking at your grouping. That's another thing for the next video. So again, make sure you get yourself in the right spot. So look at this, as I said earlier in the video, this is a runner, so a normal runner from a carpet shop or from eBay, and all that is a door threshold, which normally goes obviously across your door, and it joins your 2 carpets together, or your carpet and your wood, etc. You just buy a standard one of them and screw it down to the floor. It's got a little bit of a lip on it, so you can slide your foot up to it. What I have is I have it on the floor, and it's the front edge of the runner, which is the 7 foot 9 1/4. So again, you come from behind the hockey, If you've got enough room where you are, walk from behind the hockey, stand behind the hockey, look at the board and then walk up and address. Bit of limited room here unfortunately, but just the way it is. Make sure you get yourself in the right position, come up, give your eyes a couple of seconds to focus properly. Again, come from behind the hockey, nice, take your time, nice and cool and calm. Make sure you're in the right place. And retrieve your arrows from the board, walk back round, and once you've been playing, just practicing getting this right, get yourself an app on your phone, an app on your tablet. I have a couple of apps. That's another video that you can go back in the archives, look for it. It says Dynamite Dave's apps, the ones that I use for playing against. And just play against an app. Have a structured practice, which again is another one that you can look for in the archives. Goes on to talk about structured practice. We'll go over these things in future videos as well as old ones. And what you're looking to achieve to start off with is aim for the sort of throw towards the ball, try and get your grouping. So basically when you've thrown that first dart, just let the other ones follow it. So it's boom, boom, boom in the same place. Once you've got proficient and you've got them quite close together, then you can start moving them around the board. One more time, set yourself up, turn yourself in, make sure that you've got the arm nice and level, horizontal, make sure you've got your forearm nice and vertical. There's something that I talk about in the videos, you can try this right from the off if you want, is when you stand side on like this, put your arm in front of you and fetch it back. When you've got your arm up in the position, fetch it back and you'll find a spot where it starts to resist, where your arm stops before you're actually forcing it. That is fantastic, that, because you pull it across, it reaches that point and then it gives you a really straight action backwards and forwards because you're against the stop, what I call the stop. And that gives you a nice straight action rather than it being pulled across or pulled this way. You get a nice straight action on it. Right, so now what we're going to do is we've fetched the camera in, we've turned it round towards the board, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what you should be looking to achieve when you first start and then where you'll progress to. Right, so when you first start playing, what you're doing is you're looking to be getting inside this circle. This is the first few days of you actually playing darts. Don't think that when you pick a set of darts up that you're going to pick them up and start throwing treble 20s and what have you, because if it happens it's luck, it ain't skill, it's luck. When you build up and you start to hit those treble 20s time after time after time, then that's a different story. But don't expect too much for yourself. The other thing is, again, another one that's back in the archives, it talks about when you're doing your practice, set yourself goals that are achievable, because if you set yourself goals that you're not going to be able to achieve, all you're going to do is you're leading yourself to disappointment. Disappointment means disaffection. Disaffection means that you're going to stop playing the game, the darts will go in a draw and they won't come out for a year. And we don't want that to happen. What we want to do is we want you to progress on to actually being able to play the game quite well, enjoying it, go to the pub. If you go into a youth club, talk them into getting a board up, get really enthusiastic about it, because when you get good at it, believe me, you will become enthusiastic about it. It's a very passion driven sport, this. You get very passionate about it, a passion driven game even. Depends on which way you see it, because it's turning now from something that's a game to something that's a very professional sporting type activity. Obviously it doesn't take the physical like cricket and athletics and stuff, but it's still quite a sporting activity. But Here we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you using the same stance, the same address, the same way of throwing darts, of what hopefully where you'll start out and where you'll finish. When you first start, your darts might even be in this outer ring, as long as you're hitting the board. Some people when they first start throwing darts can't even hit the board. The darts are over here and over here. Fortunately for me, I don't miss that often anymore, so I only need this little rubber thing here, and I think there's one hole in it there where my brother hit it, and there's one hole over here where my daughter hit it. I don't think I've been out on here for years, but c'est la vie. Right, so here we go. I'll start throwing some darts for you and we'll show you where you're coming from and where you're going to. Right, when you first start off, all you do is get the stance correct, etc. And this is where you're going. That's a very good dart to start off with. And then you might end up here. So you might end up with them like that, what we call 2 at home and 1 away. Or you might end up with them like this, which is perfectly reasonable to start off with. Don't worry about that. What you're doing is getting the stance and the address right. After 2 or 3 days of doing it, hopefully you'll be hitting inside this ring regular, if not all the time. Right, and then obviously what you do then is you're going to be all over this, and you want to try and fetch them down and down and down and down and down till you're getting them around this area. Once you get them around this area, then you can start moving it about. You can go for your treble 20s, your 19s, but getting that basic skill of getting those 3 darts to go relatively in the same spot is really one of the massive fundamentals of the game, because everything apart from finishing, and even some of your finishing, is all about grouping. Because obviously if you're going for a double 16 and you put one in there, your grouping means that you can come in at an angle off that barrel like that and in. As your dart comes in, it'll hit off that barrel and bounce off into the double 16. But that's a lot more advanced stuff, that, and we'll talk about that at another time. Right, so I'll throw some more darts for you and show you where hopefully you'll go to. See, this is what you're looking for, like this. Once you've got it to this sort of level, you should be able to then start moving it around the board. And that's the sort of level that you'll end up at. Virtually every time you come to the board, you'll be able to do this sort of thing. And when you got to that sort of level, this is when you're going to become a serious player, a serious contender, especially at your pubs and your local competitions. So it's all about getting them fundamentals right and then building on them. Right, so now what we've done is we've got the fundamentals. We're starting to get round this area quite regular, and then we can start moving it about. By moving it about, I mean then going to the very first basic practice regimes, which are very simple, and it's 20s, 19s, 18s, 17s. Now you'll see on the TV, and you'll have watched on the TV, all the pros go for these. Right, the reason why I add this one in, and I do it as a regular thing, is because of what it is. It's 51. It gives you that one, and it makes calculating your finishes and what have you, especially if you're not fantastic at maths, because I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at calculating finishes and stuff like that. All the years that I've been doing it, and I still can't do it properly. But that makes not everything, but it makes things a lot simpler. So if you want 101, you know for a fact if you hit 3 of them, which is 51, you want 50. So it's 10 for tops. You can have a go at bullseye, whichever, but it just makes it nice and easy. If you've got thingy 131, if you hit that, then you know that you want 80. So dead simple, 2 double tops. That's the way I do it, but a lot of people go for 60, miss the 60, and then just plot one into the single 20 again to leave your tops. But that's finishing's a whole different story. But like I say, once you've got to this sort of level here, then you can start moving it round. That's what you're expecting at first. Anywhere around here, 26s, 41s, 45s, they're perfectly fine when you first start going, when you first start coming up to it. So this, like this, 60. When you're coming to be a little more proficient at the game, a 60 is a perfectly reasonable score. It'll win you quite a lot of games in a pub. That if you can hit 60 regularly, visit after visit, then you're talking a good pub standard, especially if you can finish as well. And then your next level up is here. Obviously when you're cracking in a treble 20, not every time you go to the board, but every 2 or 3 times, every 2 or 3 visits you should be looking to hit 160. Moving on from there, obviously you'll get in hundreds. When you get your first 60 you might be getting 66s, you might be getting 81s, 85s, tons every now and again. But that's what you're looking for, is your first treble 20 of each visit. So that's what you're looking for. When you've got the 60s going in nice, you'll get an odd 60 here and there. So you'll get an odd 100, you'll get an odd 120, maybe 140. The more luck than skill. When you're hitting a ton every 2 visits, every 3 visits, then it's not luck, it's skill. If you're then hitting a ton 40 every 2 visits or 3 visits, then you're becoming a very high standard player of darts, especially if you can finish out. But this is all for the future, but the future's not that far away, especially if you stick to the Dynamite Dave way of doing things, Dynamite Dave stance, throwing the address in the board. If you work at it, nothing comes overnight, so don't think that you're going to stand at the dartboard and in 2 weeks time you're going to be hitting treble 20s like I do, because you're not. It's a path, it's a journey. Every journey has its first steps, and if you're just starting out on darts, these are your first steps. Right, and there's another ton. Next visit. There's another ton. Next visit. So that's what I'm saying to you. As you build up your confidence and you build up your skill level, you'll be able to hit tons visit after visit. And the guys who know me in the pub will know, hitting 100s and 140s visit after visit after visit, and finishing nice and clean as well. So that's what you're looking to achieve. So you're looking to achieve 100s, 140s one after the other, hopefully. Takes a while to get to that stage though. Right, so just to end this video, the first one of 2019, what we're going to do is, just for the new subscribers and new people on Facebook and what have you, I'm picking up quite a few a week now, and just for this first one in 2019, we've gone through all the where you're going to start and hopefully where you're going to get to. And now what I'm going to do is, just to tail off the video, I'm going to do a few visits and show you that a lot of coaches that you get, internet coaches and what have you, they're good at talking the talk, but a lot of them can't walk the walk. You get a lot of boxing coaches, etc., who can talk a good box and they can actually coach people. Obviously, they can do, because they coach world champions. But there's very few sports there is people who actually do the coaching that are as good or better than their actual pupils. And if you're prepared to put the time in, it's like Roy Castle said years and years ago, it's dedication's what you need. And if you're prepared to put the time in and you're prepared to put the effort in, believe me, you will get to my standards and probably even much better. You might end up on the telly. Like I say, if you can't stick to the Dynamite Dave way, stance and addressing the board, throwing, your mental attitude, go back in the archives and look at all the different things, I'm sure you'll be able to learn something and you'll find something that's enjoyable and entertaining to watch. Right, so here we go. Finish. Right, so thanks for watching Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave, the 2019 first video of the year. This has been all about how to set yourself up and everything if you've not played before. Maybe you're coming back to darting after a 10 or 15 year break or a 2 or 3 year break. So thanks for watching Darts Coaching with Dynamite Dave. Fantastic 2019, loads and loads of interesting and exciting content to come. First video of the year, hope you've enjoyed it. And don't forget, lads and lasses, as always, as I always say, always, 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 toe to the hockey.